Let's vibe tonight. It's prime time. Officer, you know I'm on the grind. You know gas prices are way too high. Putin's got to die. Put a bullet in Putin's head. Yeah, that's what I said. I'm a freak for the vaccine. Vaccinate my body at the party. Sipping Bacardi. I'm the proof when I'm in the booth. Spitting on the mic. Putin's anti-vax. Putin hates all of them blacks. Putin is a bad racist. Put him in the ground, white or brown. And I'm in plain old town. And you know you just got found. I'm a pimp on a blimp. Unless a steak is shrimp. No, you can't stop my shine. I'm number 99. And you know I grind and shine.
I figured that intro went along with Dag's get up here.
Motherfucking Alex Stein, man. Me and that motherfucker were kicking it a few months back. Those are my fucking lyrics, dude. We were hanging out, passing around the Hennessy, passing the plate around, just fucking spitting, dude. 2 weeks later, he comes out with that shit. The fuck, man?
Stole your lines, stole your bars.
Saying, man.
Waiting for Dag's diss track. Coming.
Shit.
It's coming.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
He did that at a. I think he did that at like a Las Vegas city council meeting not long, like a couple weeks ago. He does that at his own city council. I can't believe they still let him in the fucking building. But he did it at a Vegas one here a couple weeks ago. It was pretty funny too.
So he lives in California.
Texas, I believe it is.
Oh, Texas. Oh, Alex, he kind of blew up.
So that is it's Plano, Texas, and there's an interesting like historical fact about Plano, Texas, and I can't remember what it is now. I had looked it up, and if I knew you were going to do that, I would have had it like queued up in my brain, but it's somewhere in the files in the back, and that's too much to shuffle through in the truck.
Sweet.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Is that not the way y'all's brains work? Like you compartmentalize everything, and like some things are stored at the back somewhere, and other things are like things that you keep at the front of your brain and for easy access.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Stuff that I was once very well versed on. I would have to go like flip through the book, to refresh myself if I wanted to have a conversation about it. What up, E?
Speaking of compartmentalizing, is that just...
Oh, fuck.
So where are you headed today, Justin?
So this is one of those special weeks where I have the kids on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, which means I get to drop them off at school every day this week. So this will be Justin on the road all week for the morning show. Apparently we're happy about that.
Taking care of the chillins.
Yeah.
How long have they been in school so far?
How long have y'all been in school? This is week 3? This is week 3.
The school that's like a couple blocks from me is starting today. But I was surprised by how early most schools were starting. Like my nephew's was also like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I feel like we would just be starting whenever I was in high school. It does seem like they are starting a lot earlier.
Yeah. Like we would start, I think, 3rd or last week of August. So like this week.
Is this the
inflation?
What's the creep? Shit. So this is the creep. Like they're slowly extending school out, like because like they started on a Wednesday this year. So like they're slowly extending it out. Like next year they'll start on a Monday, and then it'll be like on the Thursday the week before. Like eventually they're just going to turn it into year-round school where they can indoctrinate our children 24/7, 365.
Did any of you guys up there ever have the year-round school? I remember when I was a kid, I had some friends in Orlando who had year-round school. They'd have like a few 3-week breaks throughout the year.
Yeah, the place that I worked, those kids went year-round, but their like summer hours were I don't know, 8 to 11:30 or something. So it wasn't like all day for their summer school hours. But then, but then they would get like extra breaks in the winter than like when the normal schedule would allow.
Yeah, we had one school that did it there back home, and so like their fall break and spring break were 2 weeks, whereas we had like maybe a week, and then their winter break was 4 weeks, whereas we had 2 weeks. But then their summer break was only 4 weeks, whereas we had like 8 weeks or something like that. So it all averaged out at the end. Like they were going to school the same amount as we were. They just had their breaks split up different. Basically, is the way it worked.
I guess it's cool because you could get
4
some
weeks.
time off, at different times of the year rather than just the, at least down here, the absolute worst time of the year, But it didn't bother us as kids. Like, I remember summer break, we were riding around on our bikes, not carrying like a bottle of water, not sweating. Could have just been that, nice adolescentness that doesn't allow you to do that. Or, maybe global warming's real. I don't know.
You seem to be embracing summer today.
It's fucking hot out there, man.
So what's going on? Are you recording a rap video later or what? Like,
I'm just starting to slip into fantasy football, man. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Are you still watching the league?
I finished it. Yep.
You finished out all the seasons?
Yep.
Nice.
what did you think of that last season? It got a little off the rails, didn't it?
Yeah, most shows do. They have a hard time holding it together after like 5 seasons, I find. But yeah, it started getting a little out there. But what are you gonna do?
The football content starts to decrease, and it just turns into a drama.
And that didn't even turn it. It didn't even turn into a drama. Like it turned into like a full-on sketch type comedy that was a little bit ridiculous. Katie, wake up! I'm about to drop you off.
It got pretty silly. Andre is just the best though. He's so fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he's hilarious. Just looking at his face just makes me laugh. Like I'll see him, he's in T-Mobile commercials, I think, and whenever those commercials come up, like I just start laughing because I think of Andre.
Nick Kroll is like he's an underrated comedian. Like he is really like naturally funny. Like I don't like his like sketch comedy type stuff as much. It's not like. Did you ever watch the Nick Kroll show on Comedy Central?
I tried watching it recently and I couldn't get into it. And I love sketch comedy. I just wasn't that into his sketches.
And that's how I feel with like I don't like his sketch comedy, but he as a comedian and just like normal stuff, that he's fucking hilarious.
Well, because he's done like even like writing and stuff on a lot of shows. Like what's the cartoon on Netflix? We watched it.
Big Mouth.
Yes, Big Mouth. Yeah, Big Mouth, and then the related shows. Those they could be a little much, but they were definitely funny. For sure.
Do you guys remember or recall when I think it was like right after 2016? So Trump's first year in office, Mark Duplass was like going around trying to understand conservatives and Trump voters. So he was like on with Crowder for a couple of times, and then he went on with Ben Shapiro and like announced it on Twitter, and everyone like went after him, and he had to apologize for talking with Ben Shapiro. Do you remember this?
I vaguely remember it. Yeah.
Who's this? I don't think I know who this is.
Mark Duplass is the what's his name in the league, like the main character, I guess.
No shit.
Yeah. Yeah, so he was like making rounds after Trump's election. It's like, I'm trying to understand their point of view. And then his fans freaked out on him and he had to apologize. I was like, imagine apologizing for talking to Ben Shapiro.
Was he like legitimate? Do you think like legitimately like journalistically trying to like understand, or do you think he was just like
I don't know. I didn't. I think I heard one.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Yeah.
He's right in front of the truck. I could just run him over.
Well, thanks for letting us know.
I know, like,
but I'm not gonna. That's how good of a dad I am.
I didn't do it. I resisted the urge.
Oh fuck.
See, my daughter's smart about it. When she goes into the school, she goes around the back. She's not taking that chance. She already knows what's going through my head. Well,
yeah, wait, you've hit her 3 times already.
It would be inconvenient.
Well, at least with reverse,
like,
you get the heads up. Yeah, you got the reverse light, so you know if it's in reverse. You know, so all right, I'm clear. I'm going to shoot across.
And then as soon as you see the lights, it's like, oh shit, go faster.
I didn't have a vindictive try to murder me father. I just had an alcoholic father, so I sort of had the same worries of getting run over in the driveway, but just accidental instead of on purpose. That's all. So I had to learn these tricks at a young age.
You got it all down.
See, that means it was even more dangerous for you because
because I couldn't just be nice and avoid
you
it.
didn't know when it. Right, like you didn't know when it was coming. Like,
so
it's out there playing on the big wheel, man.
This fantasy football.
Speaking
of fantasy football, when is it determined? Like, when is the whole Twitter pictures thing over with?
I guess we should put an end date.
The draft will be on September 2nd, and I'll need
so we're gonna do
to
this
set
all
the
the way
draft.
up to
I'll need to set the draft order, so I mean we can keep it running until all the way up until the morning of the 2nd. Because currently the way the draft is set is that it'll just randomly order, or it'll randomly set the draft order at the time of the draft. And I could just do this whole picture thing for the next 2 weeks and then leave it at that anyway. Wouldn't that be like the most dickish move on my part? Be like, all right, we're gonna do all this competition to see who drafts first and who drafts last, and then when it's all said and done, I don't even use any of it. Just like let it auto populate. Yeah,
it's almost like voting doesn't matter.
Oh damn it! I gave away the game. I should have just done that. I should have just done that and not said anything about it.
Fuck.
You just pulled a Sam Harris.
God damn it.
Speaking of him, did we talk about him?
Yeah, we talked about Sam on Friday.
Unless there's been more developments.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, he did talk about how he looks up into the sky and he doesn't see heaven, so that means that heaven isn't real.
Well, heaven may or may not be real, but space definitely isn't real. Mark, cue up that video of the guy grabbing the dude's wire as he's flipping through space.
Hey, we're being threatened about Dag potentially turning into sports ball on Sunday.
I'm just gonna have to start spending Sundays at the bar, and then she doesn't. Then I can just, it can just be on there, and I'm not.
You're like, no, it's a drinking problem, not a sports problem.
I'm just getting drunk on the weekends, babe. That's sort of been my plan to get around. And I don't have sports channels. You know what I mean? You go to the bar, they got them all up there. Yeah, I think, babe, you and me are just going out to eat tonight. It has nothing to do with the fact that football's on. Hey, can you change that to the Packers game, please? Thank you.
So, have you found your team yet? Like, have you decided on who's going to be like your favorite team since we're doing this? Like, you got to have a favorite team.
Yeah. Look, I root for the Buccaneers because of Brady, so you can choose them too, Dag.
Why would I thought you picked people from like all different teams? Why would it matter?
But if you're gonna do the sports ball thing, like you gotta have your team.
Oh well, then it's gonna be the Bucks. I mean, I've lived here. I was born in Clearwater. Be the Bucks.
I love Clearwater. That's where I got my first tattoo.
That makes sense. Did you buy a butterfly knife from a guy on the beach? On the pier?
It looked really tempting, but I was young and broke at the time, so the tattoo
you and
took
me,
most of
you
my
and me
money.
almost met. We almost met.
Magoo says he's Colts this year, probably so. Matt Ryan is with the Colts. That makes sense. Steven likes the Kyans and the Lions.
I was like, man, I'm really behind on sports ball because I haven't even heard of these Kyans.
Yeah. The Kyans are in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Lions are in Detroit.
Isn't that the name? Isn't that the name that Washington football took? They're the Kyans. Or is that the Kikes? No, they're Commanders. I knew it was something like that.
Commanders. All right, what is the video that you're talking about?
Better, right?
No, it's not.
So
They sent
can I ask
General.
you guys-
They sent Commander Custer to go kill all the Redskins.
Yeah, change it to some crusty old white dude. Commanders. What the fuck, dude? You couldn't have picked anything more racially sensitive. Anyhow, so can I ask you guys a couple questions about like the football, like fantasy football thing here, like and like the drafting?
Absolutely.
Like, so do you like? So you have like your favorites. These are the people I want, but because of draft order and you have to take turns, you're not going to get everybody you want, right? So you have like your favorites, and what like you pick like some backups or something. Like, okay, well, this is who I'll get if Buddy Butterson is already taken, you know?
So at
then,
the time of the draft, you can go through and look at players and pick your favorites and have them tagged. And then that makes it easy. So when your turn comes up, if your favorite players are still on the board, you can just hit draft one. But if none of your favorites are there or there are better players available, the way the draft the way the online draft is set up, like it'll scroll through players and it'll show you like the best available based on whatever metrics that ESPN is using at this time and all that. So it'll show you like best available. You can sort by different positions because you have to have a defense and you have to have a kicker on top of having, quarterback and running backs and wide receivers, tight end.
And do you pick multiple? Because like multiple quarterbacks, because your quarterback might not be playing that week or something. Then, right? So
right, you should probably have two. Yeah, you should probably have two quarterbacks. I wouldn't go with three. Like running backs and wide receivers, a healthy mix. You want one good tight end and maybe a second, but tight ends are kind of hit and miss typically. You only want one defense and one kicker. Like, don't waste a roster spot on.
No, okay. So you just have like a total allowable amount of players then, basically, and you try to make your best picks within that total allowable amount.
Right.
Okay. I like that. I guess thinking about, I was forgetting that it's like the online thing. So it's not like, on the show where we're pulling things out of a hat, putting it on a thing, and you got to know everything. Yeah, the fact that it sort of ranks them would help people like me, where I'm like, okay, I have my few favorites, but if they're not available, I can just like look at the list.
Yeah, the list will be there in front of you, and we're gonna do it live, so like we can walk you through it if you need help, because I'll be
once
looking.
The draft starts, man, I ain't helping nobody.
It's on.
I'm gonna be helping my wife, so I may as well help all the rest of you too.
I want to go ahead and I want to like donate some stuff like from like my companies and hustles to like the winner.
Okay.
And if anybody else wants to do that, so we can get like a prize going, and then it's still not technically gambling, but we also skin in the game. But yeah, I'll donate like seeds, like I don't know, a big kit of seeds so you can start a garden or give them away, and I don't know, dog treats. We make dog treats, and then I don't know, whatever the fuck else I can come up with. I'll put some shit in a box and ship it to whoever wins. Yeah.
I wonder if we can get. I bet you Carlos will chip in some stuff for a prize pack for the winner.
And we need some coffee in the pool too.
Yeah, where's our coffee guy when we need him?
Speaking of coffee guy, the ad read guy. Yeah, this is a good. I rarely ever actually draft a kicker during the draft. I usually just wait until a couple days before the game and pick one up.
But wouldn't you? So you don't have to pick all your people, you're saying? You can pick them later, too?
So, like, I might pick an extra running back or receiver, and then I'll obviously have to drop a player to pick up a kicker and fill that spot.
Oh,
I go through, like, 5, 6, 7 kickers a year because their projected points kind of depend on who they're playing that week. Same with defense, but it's nice to have a good defense on.
So this isn't even that permanent.
If you've got like a solid, reliable defense that you can count on week in, week out, you probably want to stick with that one typically. But like, yeah, a kicker is just a kind of a rotating position. Like, I'm kind of like Mark. Like, I may have 8 or 9 different kickers throughout the season because if a kicker has a favorable matchup where it looks like their team will score a lot of points because the other team has a bad defense, then I'm gonna pick up a kicker because they're going to score a lot of points.
Steven would like to know if we get a dog with the treats. That's a good question.
You're going to have to pick one of those up on your own. Yeah.
Just don't pay $40,000 like Sean King. I mean, I guess you can pay that much if you'd like, but
Well, what kind of dog? Because some of those protection dogs do go for a lot of money. And
You know what? Sean King probably could use some protection, especially when he walks through the ghetto as he's pretending to be black and he's completely white. I don't know what kind of dog it was, though.
it's probably just some fancy rich person shit dog, you know. We're gonna use Shih Tzu as the example, but there's a little bit of alliteration.
There's some like special crossbreed between a really crappy purebred dog and another really crappy type of purebred dog, and they make this super purebred hybrid that just fucking sucks and is useless. Like, can't breathe right because its face is all smushed and shit's all down the back of its legs.
This one.
You mean this guy?
Yeah, this one.
Hi, Morty.
That's only a $2,500 dog. It's it's not quite that bad.
But he's
Not
cute.
quite 40 grand.
Yeah, not quite. We got him for trade though, so it's okay.
Nice.
Hey, there you go.
Hey, I do actually have another question about fantasy, Justin.
Oh God, here we go. Yeah.
Do you have this streaming our draft figured out? Like, how is that going to work?
What do you mean? How's that going to work? You can put 10 people in a StreamYard. So we're going to set it up like any normal the night before. I'm going to use all the night before graphics, and it's going to be the night before the draft.
So, like, on the screen, we're going to see, like, from your vantage point?
Oh, there are going to be 10. There are going to be 10 motherfuckers on this screen all at the same time, and we're going to be drafting.
No, I mean the actual like draft screen.
Like screen share.
I could probably do that.
Yeah. So we're gonna like see.
It might make the screen a little crowded. It'll be kind of Brady Bunchish, but yeah.
Be hard to see anything on it for it to matter anyhow.
But then if we see yours,
Mark just wants to make sure nobody's cheating,
and then we get to steal your players.
Yeah.
Unless you don't use the queue.
I don't use the queue, but
You
you act like there's some strategy involved in my draft order.
It's just like,
Like what position do I need to draft? Oh, hey, there's a tight end. I like that guy's name. We'll go with that.
Oh, you're just bullshit now.
Big and white. That's the perfect tight end. I'll take that guy.
I think this is mostly bragging rights, Steven. Except for the seeds of Dag and the seeds of Dag.
You're getting Dag seed.
A whole big box of it. Oh, man.
Just open up that box. This isn't what I thought he meant.
Yeah, well, it's twofold because it's unvaccinated and also blanks because I'm vasectomy. So it's both awesome and useless at the same time.
Superpower. Look at this dude.
My unvaccinated, vasectomized nut juice.
Oh wow.
That's not really what I'm gonna be sending. Just so you know, guys.
Yeah,
Wow.
sure.
You've now told
I save it
the
for
three
myself.
people in the chat.
Yeah, I'm not sharing that with other people. It's mine, sort of. What's the guy? The aviator guy.
The aviator guy.
The guy who went crazy, who was all rich, who's making a movie.
Leonardo DiCaprio played him?
Yeah, who he played him, yeah.
Hughes? Something Hughes.
Yeah, Howard Hughes.
Howard
yeah.
Hughes.
All Howard Hughes-ish. To save all my fluids.
Just like chilling in a dark room.
Yeah. Well, it's the fear that the government would get a hold of him, so I got to keep it for myself.
Oh God.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Got a lot off the rail today.
Oh, no, it's my fault.
I know you haven't shared a single article. We're just relying on us here.
Like 10 minutes ago, Justin said something about a video as if I know where this video is.
Space is fake. Find the video of the guy doing the backflips in outer space, but then the other guy sitting next to him like reaches over and grabs his cable to straighten him out when he's like kind of getting off the rails a little bit with his space flips. Like he's clearly just being suspended on cables doing like you can even when he does the flip, you can even see it pulling taut on his back. Like it's.
And the chick's hair looks funny, like it's being like held up with fucking mousse or something.
Oh, they definitely hairsprayed that or something. Like if her hair was floating in space like that, it would actually like move, and it doesn't. And also, the other guys in the space station, they don't have like crop tops. They are, like crop cut, crew cut, whatever you want to call it. Like they've got a little bit of hair. So wouldn't their hair also be sticking up? It's just like an idea. I don't know.
But, yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, that video is long being
Face,
scrubbed.
backflips. When did this come out?
A week or so ago. About a week ago.
Oh, that's it? I thought we were talking about that old one from like 3 years ago. That
Did this go along with the pepperoni that was called a planet or whatever?
I don't know. I saw it a couple weeks ago. Or about a week ago.
So if it was recent, they probably had like a semen droplet like floating by, suspended on a wire. Like, see, this is why. This is why we don't masturbate in space. This, guys.
We need to rename this show Sunday Semen or Monday Semen Day or whatever. I don't know what to call it.
I never noticed the episode title, but I see it now.
I do sometimes.
Me and Niall were laughing about pigtails all day yesterday. It was it was a good day.
Well, since Mark can't find the video,
did you share this video at some point?
I mean, I shared it on my Twitter feed. I don't think I put it in the group chat. I thought I just assumed everybody had seen it, and I didn't need to share it on the.
That's what happens when you assume things.
I know, I'm making an ass of mostly you.
Oh, I'm losing my. This is such a shit show when I do this.
So now everybody knows what you have to look forward to for the rest of the week.
And Justin's $120 less richer now.
107 actually.
Oh fuck!
Jeez,
that sucks.
That does.
Yeah, but I get like 600 miles to a tank, so it's not.
Yeah, it's fair. I never actually fill my truck because it's like a 20-something gallon tank. It would do that to me.
Yeah, that's somebody. I don't know. It's been a while ago. Like it was going around Twitter. How much does gas cost in your area? And it's like, I don't know. I literally never look at the price of gas. I just fill my tank up and move on with life because, I mean, I got to put gas in it either way. Regardless of how expensive it is, I still have to put gas in it.
Whether you're guzzling or not, huh?
Yeah. That's right.
I like that you can't really see the screen when he's driving.
I'm not going to stop driving some giant truck. So what does this say? Damn.
Nothing.
Where'd Mark go?
That was weird. I don't know what happened there.
Did Mark just find out that I'm actually a Fed and they broke into his house for posting something that was defamatory towards me?
Is that what your name is? Oscar Mike? Is that some sort of, is that NATO?
I had to explain this to Mark the other day too. It's Oscar Mike means on the move. No
Gotcha.
It's a military thing.
Yeah, that's what I say. It is kind of NATO talk. I have to do that for my job because I'm reading off VIN numbers on the phone and shit, And like it's kind of cool and like sound like it's kind of like fun, like talking like that, But I'll just some days I'll just hit a total like fucking roadblock. I'll be like, what the fuck is like why, And I'll be like, YOLO, just come up with some stupid shit. One time for Z, I'm like xylophone. Then I'm like, no, xylophone's an X. Fuck, sorry. I was like, that's not right. I'm so sorry.
All right, we ready for this?
Yeah, let's do it. I got my conspiracy goggles on.
We're gonna have to do something for you.
Oh yeah, I can do that. Watch this. Oh yeah, I can do that. Oh yeah.
That hair is not floating.
Right.
Why are they zooming in on his crotch?
Oh yeah, I can do that. Watch this.
They're in the fucking vomit comet thing. Because look, her hair when her head moves, her hair isn't floating. It's stuck that way.
Right.
Watch it. We'll turn her head back. By the way, seeing that lady makes me want to watch
oh yeah, I can
what's
do
that movie Hocus Pocus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And if you watch when he's doing the backflip, like on his back, like in the center of his back between his shoulder blades, you can see where they've got him connected. Like it's pulled tight right there. Like that's the exact spot. Like if you've ever had to wear a harness of any sort, like that's exactly where the D-ring goes, where they hook you in. Like that's you can see it when he does the flip. If you pause it as he's like ass up, you can see where it's connected in between his shoulder blades.
You can clearly see the second shooter behind the grassy knoll if you zoom in just a little further behind that.
That's right.
What?
So anyway, there's a bunch of other there's a bunch of other videos that are like floating around or circulating. If you go through like the comments section on that, where there's one that's like a Russian cosmonaut who takes like a screw out of something and then he drops it. Like he's floating in space, but he takes the screw out of something and it falls. Or like they're all floating, but you see like fruit and all this other stuff like just sitting on the table. Like, why isn't any of that stuff floating when they're all floating? Like, it's all bullshit.
Yeah, that lady's definitely got like some serious hair gel, hairspray just to stick her hair up. It's not.
That's what I'm saying. You know, like
a brick.
Her hair is just straight up, but all of the guys, their hair is just sitting smooth on the top of their head like mine. Like if her hair is floating.
When she turns her head back, her hair goes like it stays rigid. It doesn't wobble like you would expect weightless hair to do.
She just got it sprayed in place.
You know, Owen Benjamin really had me convinced like 3 years ago that space and the moon, you know, landing and stuff, you know, didn't happen. And I don't know. I can't know. It doesn't really matter to my life. It would be the most amazing like revelation of like the biggest lie like ever, right? That we lived on something else, you know, than what we always thought we did. But it's, you know, I don't know, man. It's just that somebody stood in front of a classroom one day and told me the Earth was round. I mean, it's really the only proof I have. Otherwise, the sun comes up over there, it sets over there, it does it pretty reliably. That's all it's important.
Yeah, has anyone ever actually dug all the way through to China? Has this been proven?
I don't know. I mean, I've told you guys my theory that that's what's beyond Antarctica is where all the like that's where Jeffrey Epstein and all the elites go. You know, that's where they live. That's the better part of the Earth. We live on the crap part of the Earth.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, whatever's beyond Antarctica.
Obviously, the moon landing thing is a lot easier. The moon landing is fake. It's a lot easier to believe than flat Earth.
Yeah.
Like, I've gotten to the point. It was like, yeah, the moon landing.
I didn't say flat.
Like 80% fake.
I just said not a globe.
Oh yeah, you said. I mean, it could be a. I don't know.
It's more pear shaped.
Exactly. Yeah.
So there's a buddy sent me a whole bunch of stuff on the flat Earth stuff, and I've been looking at it some, and I'm gonna do an episode and like dig into it eventually, but I need to do like a lot more prep for that kind of thing. But I'm definitely more on the like the hollow Earth than the flat Earth. The information or the like the proof for the flat Earth it's sort of compelling, but at the same time it's like but like there's also.
Do you guys know snipers? Like the big thing, like people on both sides say, yeah, snipers factor in the curve. And then others say, no, snipers say they don't factor in the curve.
I just wouldn't imagine that you necessarily have to factor in curve. You'd just be factoring distance and drop anyhow. Well, even if let's say the curve exists and let's say the curve does matter, you're factoring in distance and drop, which the distance would be taking into account both, you know, the distance that the projectile flies and that curve, just because you just know how far, you know, how much you have to aim up to fucking hit it at that distance. So it could be a thing, you know, but I feel like that'd just be the distance, right? Like it just has a drop at a certain distance.
Yeah,
I didn't know you have to do an extra equation for the Earth.
Thing. I'm assuming the curve is a thing, or isn't? I don't know.
I mean, it might be, but I feel like for shooting a bullet, like Dag was saying, you're factoring the drop. You're not factoring the curve. I mean,
Yeah.
what's
I just don't know if there's an
what's the
extra
longest-
equation for it. Yeah.
what's the longest shot that a sniper has hit somebody at? And over that distance, like, what is it? A mile? At that distance?
Yeah,
like,
I thought it was a few thousand yards or a couple thousand yards. A mile's what, a little over 5,000 feet. So yeah,
I don't know.
2,000. Yeah, I mean 2,000 yards is over a mile, right?
I think that's right. Yeah.
Meters. Meters is. I don't know.
So I
I
mean,
don't
but
know,
at that distance, I feel like you're not accounting for the curve of the Earth. Like it's not going to come into play. You're accounting for the drop of the bullet, because eventually, or over a certain distance, it's going to lose velocity, and just gravity.
That's the thing, though, Magoo. It's not. It's a hologram out there. The other planets aren't round. They don't exist. That's the thing. It's all. Just look into the lunar wave. That's all I'm saying. The lunar wave. And I don't really believe any of that stuff. I really don't care. I just really like to fuck with globe earthers.
Globe earthers.
Yeah.
I like to mess more with the Neil deGrasse loving science people.
Me too.
They're the worst.
Yeah. Actually. Oh fuck. Well, it's funny because sometimes I used to watch some of Neil deGrasse, his show or whatever, and some of his show was good, but it's just when he comments on shit, I'm just like, shut up.
Right.
Oh, well, so speaking of the somebody brought up the title of the show that y'all never read. I put so much time and effort into coming up with creative titles and doing the little write-ups for the show, and none of y'all even bother looking at them. So hopefully somebody gets enjoyment
they are
out of
good,
it.
man. I do
Thanks
look
for
at it and go,
doing that.
damn, Justin's good at that, because I couldn't do that.
Yeah, we see what happens when I have to run the articles here, so I do appreciate you.
I can't be consistently clever.
Find the one that's the pigtail one. I thought that one was funny.
Yeah, that was good on a lot of levels. Some of the comments were good on the article itself.
Give us kind of the give us the Cliff Notes version of the article while Mark tries to figure out where it actually is.
So basically, it's this waitress, and because this was a highly scientific experiment, it really wasn't, but they act like it was. Where she decided to wear pigtails to work some days, and she found she got higher tips on days she wore pigtails. So obviously, that's sexism
higher
and
tips
misogyny.
or higher tits?
Tips, but both actually. We'll get to that.
Okay.
But yeah, we got more tips. So this is misogyny and all that stuff. And men are sexualizing, and they're not only sexualizing women, but they're sexualizing young women and trying to make them younger, because obviously pigtails are a thing that they're correlating to young women or girls or something. So that's the other thing, is they're kind of trying to say it's like, oh, they're it's kind of pedo adjacent to be into pigtails.
So are they trying to normalize the whole MAPS thing, or do they want to stigmatize dudes for liking the young women? I don't understand what direction these fuckers are trying to go with this.
It's stigmatizing men for sure. No, it's nothing. They're not saying anything positive about it. The girl at the end of the article says, though, because she makes more money, she's going to continue to do it, even though it makes her feel dirty that men are ogling her. But I'd have to say that if you're going to have that opinion, I'm going to find it a little, I don't know if hypocritical is the right word, but contradictory if you ever dress up at all and ever take your looks into account at all, when you go out regularly. You know what I mean? Because it's to think that girls don't try to look more attractive, and say that there's not a sexual thing to that is kind of fucked up. Second, maybe you just look good in pigtails, honey. I don't know. Maybe you do. One of the comments says look, maybe when I wear pigtails, I feel it puts me in a mood like I'm wearing pigtails. I'm happier, friendly, bouncy, whatever. And what do you know? It just so happens that those qualities go along with getting bigger tips, And then she says, to do a real scientific experiment, you'd have to have the servers go out and not know what hairstyle they're wearing to see if it matters. This and that. But I'm a pigtail enjoyer, so what the fuck ever. First time I saw my wife, she was in pigtails. What can I say?
Anytime,
love at first sight. Hopefully
anytime
she's still
we're doing
for you.
yard work or stuff around the house, and my wife will put hers up in pigtails, and it's cute. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I do it because it's such an easy hairstyle. When I forgot to put up my hair, blah blah blah. Okay, that's boring. So she just went like a tweet storm about this.
Yeah, and there's some. I was reading some of the comments, and some of the comments in the comments were good. But yeah, some people are really like, "Oh, it's so sexist and gross," and I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, if you again, it's like, oh my god, whatever just happened in that video on the side there with the hot dog. Oh my dear god. I did not know what was going on.
Y'all really get distracted by the ads.
I just saw someone holding a hot dog, and all you saw was the tip sticking out, and they shoved a bamboo skewer right into the center. It looked like the worst Vietnamese torture ever. Oh my god. Okay. Sorry, you guys just derailed me. But
Look at it now. What's going on? Oh,
they're dipping in hot oil.
They're making corn dogs.
I have been, okay, proof they're listening to me. I've been saying I've been craving real corn dogs lately.
There it is.
See, Steven concurs. Well, this either just proves that these people are insane or we're all a bunch of pervs. I don't know.
No, we're not. I mean,
I'm a total perv,
stupid.
so I don't know.
I like it when women try to look nice, and they should like it when men like it. When they like it look nice. It's as simple as that.
Oh.
They should conduct a really scientific type of experiment. Like, go out one day with hair just down normal and looking kind of plain and homely, and then go out the next day with your hair up in pigtails with a push-up bra and a little bit of a tighter fitting shirt and see what happens. I mean, I bet you guys tip better for chicks who look slightly more attractive. I don't know.
I bet you also don't need some grand experiment. You just need to go to like Hooters and find out how much they average in tips, versus Applebee's. And I bet you they'd paint a pretty good picture right there too.
So is y'all's tipping based on the attractiveness of the server, or is it based on the service itself, or do you just kind of do like a flat tip rate no matter what?
I have a rant about this. You can go first, Mark.
I think it's about like, so I have a baseline. Like, I'm not gonna go below a certain like number or whatever, but if it is like more exceptional service, then I'll go up a bit. Or certain number, certain percentage, I should say.
So I'm sure that Mark is typically a restaurant experience as opposed to a bar experience. So I kind of treat the two a little bit differently. But restaurant experience, yeah, man. I mean, it's service, basically. Now, I mean, if I have a better time, like all around, so if I don't care if they're hot or not, if it's some old lady, but if she's funny, you know what I mean? That's a fucking plus. When it comes to bars, like I enjoy like even like a male bartender, like if he's a good bartender, usually have a good time, good stories, funny, whatever. It's a good time. That's fine. I'll tip just as much as if it's a chick. But I have to say, when like I walk into a bar and it's not like a cute chick behind the bar, I'm like, fuck. Like it is kind of like a little bit of like a better experience sometimes, but a lot of times they're shitty bartenders. I'd rather have a good bartender, no matter what the situation, whether it's a dude, a chick, what the fuck ever, attractive or not. I want a good bartender. Beyond that, yeah, of course I prefer a cute chick. Why not? You get better conversation from a guy though, so.
I kind of prefer the bartender to be a little bit of a chunky chick with a really good attitude. Like those are the ones
they're saucy. Yeah.
Yeah. They give you a little. They give you a little. They give you a little attitude. They're funny. They're fun. Like the hot ones are usually kind of snobbish. Like, I'm probably less likely to give a. I'm probably less likely to give a good tip to like a really hot waitress or bartender, just because they seem to be kind of standoffish and they're not like, I want somebody who's personable. I want to enjoy the experience. I don't, especially because usually I'm either there with friends to hang out and I don't care what you look like, or I'm there with my wife and I definitely don't care what you look like.
Yeah, you don't want a hot bartender when you're there with your wife. I totally agree. Overall, it's the experience, right? It's you want somebody who's fun and is a good bartender, and that's definitely the important thing. It's funny, like I have had like, especially like recently, if it is like a hot like bartender or something, one of the reasons I'll be like less likely to tip them more is almost like because I don't want to feel like a fucking like simp or something. Like I'm like, if I tip her less, I'm like more of a badass because it's like, fuck that hot bitch, you know. So I'm gonna tip her less, and she gets plenty of fucking tips. Let's be real, you know. She ain't hurting for money. So
there's plenty of simpy dudes out there.
Yeah, it makes me feel better about myself to tip the hot bitch less. So I've kind of been doing that.
Well, that was like for the pictures for the voting. Basically, if y'all didn't notice, I went through and found old Facebook profile pictures that you had used at some point because I felt like this is a really awkward or goofy picture, but at some point you thought it was such a good picture that you said it as your profile
that picture
picture
as a profile pic one time?
Yes, sir, you did.
Oh my gosh.
So I did that with everybody except for Stephanie because I was like,
Facebook.
I was like, I can't go back through your old profile pictures because the ones you have from like college, you were doing modeling and shit, and they're fucking hot, and I'm not doing that. Like that's you. And then she was like, no, surely not. And she went and looked back through all of her profile pictures, and she was like, yeah, you can't use any of those. I would just get my DMs filled up. She was like, dudes would just flood my DMs if you did that. I was like, exactly. That's why you get if you give Sloth a kitty.
I haven't seen that movie in so long. I don't really remember any of it, but I remember what the sloth was, and I remember it was like a candy bar or something they gave him. That's about it.
What was the candy bar that he wanted, that he liked?
It's just Snickers, right? Or Three Musketeers?
I can't remember.
One of those.
She had never seen it. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it's like
it's better than Three Musketeers.
I like.
It's not my number. It's not my number one.
I'm more of a Reese's guy than anything. If I'm going to
get Reese's Fast Break is number one. Milky Way Dark, that's number 2.
I like them. Dark chocolate, like the marshmallow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are good.
I'm more of a white chocolate kind of guy.
Imagine that.
Somehow
white everything. Mark is such a white supremacist. He even has to have his chocolate white.
They do make ginger candies, but they're Asian. Mark's not going there. I always liked Milky Ways growing up. They were pretty good. It's like Three Musketeers is like basic, and then you got Milky Way. They add the caramel, right? And then you got like Snickers, which is like, full out. You got, you could call that a snack because it's got the peanuts in there.
It might count as like a count towards your food pyramid in the school system.
Yeah.
Like, well, you're getting your wheat here.
I mean, per their ad campaign, though, it is the kind of thing like if I can't get like food, but it's like I gotta fucking eat something. Like you could eat like half a Snickers and be like, okay, stave off that food headache for another hour or two. It can achieve that. One of the few things in that candy department, in my opinion, that would pull that off. I've been trail mixing a lot lately.
Yeah.
I got some Chex Bold the other day, and I don't know if it was just like an old bag or what, but the Chex Bold does not have that bold flavor that I remember from when I was a kid. Like it was kind of bland and disappointing. I was like, I was expecting to really feel the onion and the garlic and
pussification of America continues on.
Look at this. When it comes to candy, I actually prefer like the Sour Patch Kids or Sour Worms or whatever. I'll take that over chocolate. Any kind of chocolate, even the white kind.
Depends on my mood. Some days I really want the Sour Patch exploders that have like the juice in the middle.
He loves exploding things in his mouth. Continue. Go ahead.
Or I'm really in the mood for like a Reese's Fast Break. Or sometimes I want like the old school fruit pies, like the apple and the cherry fruit pies. You know what I'm talking about?
I think so. Like they're in a little box thing.
Yeah.
I gotta answer Carlos. My wife made fucking guava pastries yesterday. I think it's more Puerto Rican-y, but they were really dank. Definitely got them from the Mexican section of the guava paste from the Mexican section of the grocery store. So
I don't think I've ever.
Otherwise,
had
no
those.
Mexican candy.
No, other than that, no Mexican candy.
Yeah.
Carlos, what is that Mexican candy?
Candy with scorpions in it and shit. I don't know.
Oh yeah, like.
Well, hey, we got to wrap up on the since Mark started the episode with Alex Stein's rant against Putin. Alexander, the guy that's
Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah.
Oh.
Alexander Dugin. There was an assassination attempt on him over the weekend, and he had changed vehicles at some point, and so it ended up killing his daughter. And then Mark could probably explain who Dugin is better than most of us. And if you can't, I mean, I can kind of give it a quick once over. But
yeah, I had no idea.
Dugin is a Russian, political theorist, I guess you could call him. He doesn't actually have like a position within the Russian government, but it's pretty well established that he's a bit of a Putin whisperer, or Putin reads him and takes advice from him, whatever. He's close to kind of like Steve Bannon over here. He wrote a book called The Fourth Political Theory, which is not fascism, democracy, or communism. It's kind of like the fourth. I don't know if it's like you couldn't really say it's like a mixture of the three, but it's like a differentiation from the three. As sort of like the future of governance in the world or whatever.
It's like the Fourth Reich,
obviously. Yeah, the Fourth Reich. But I mean, that's kind of like a short little distillation of who he is. People don't like him, obviously.
So some good ideas in there, or I don't know.
I mean, I think so, but more like right wing.
Huge proponents of communism, socialism, like New World Order-y type shit. They really don't like him. They really, really don't like him. And supposedly, like, he's the guy that most of the Russian military are reading and kind of taking their cues from. Like, he's, like Mark was saying, like, he doesn't have an official position or title. He's not anybody in particular, but he is very influential in Russian political culture. So
where did this happen?
The bombing. Or
the explosion.
Somewhere in Russia, I think, right?
Yeah, it was in Russia, and apparently, like, Zelensky and Ukraine are effectively taking credit for it without going so far as to just outright.
So the CIA did it.
Right. You know, that as soon as it happened, that was a bunch of the stuff that was going around on Twitter. Was like, you know, the only group that has the reach to actually carry something out like this is the CIA. Like, it's not a coincidence.
And I mean, it's one of those things, even if they didn't do it, they've done it enough in the past, or how can you not think they did? You know, how can you not reasonably suspect?
Well, have y'all seen the video that was circulating with, it was Lindsey Graham and John McCain in like 2016, doing like a pump-up speech to a bunch of Ukrainian troops and stuff, telling them, yeah, 2017 is the year that we're going to go on the offensive and we're going to take it to Putin and we're going to stop Putin and all of his hostilities and aggressions and yada, yada, yada. And then Hillary lost and Trump won and none of that happened. And then, so, you know, all of this has been like, the conspiracy theory on that is all of this has been in the works for, 5 years or more, and it's just now coming to fruition because the right people are in charge and are allowing it to all be done.
Been wanting war with Russia for a while. Do we know what SDG is talking about here? He said only the real ones know, and I don't think I'm a real one then.
You know.
I do know?
I'm sure you know. We can't say stuff like that out loud on YouTube because, they don't like it. But you know.
Oh.
I just realized I've been driving with my knees this whole time. I probably could have run the whole stream. I've got my hands free now.
Yeah. Free for a beer. Hell yeah. I had a friend who got a DUI at the same. This was like 10 years ago. Got a DUI at the same time my car like blew a motor. So like I borrowed his car for a couple months and like was his chauffeur and got to use his car. Anyhow, he worked nights, so I'd go pick him up before I go to work at the hospital. He'd get off and I'd take him home at 7 a.m. and he'd be like, hit the store here and get a Four Loko, big ass fucking Four Loko every like 7 a.m. every day. I'm like, I'm just getting up, probably hungover back in those days. I'm like, oh god, crack it and smell it, you know? Like, oh fuck, it's so bad.
Just think that's gonna be
Whatever
you once you
happens-
start watching sports ball.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna have to start drinking Four Lokos when this persona really kicks in.
Get ready.
Yeah.
Whatever happened? Do y'all remember the government was trying to crack down on like Four Locos and stuff like that, like the combo combo energy drink / alcohol. Like they were for some reason they got on a big kick that they needed to like restrict that or something. I don't know that it
A
ever
couple
went
kids
anywhere.
died, pussies.
Right, like it feels like that opens up a can of worms.
Quiet.
Similar. That opens up a can of worms similar to like the whole flavored, trying to ban flavored vapes and tobaccos and stuff. Like what? Because they say it's being promoted for kids or marketed to kids because it has a good flavor. Like why is it that as soon as you become an adult, you're not allowed to enjoy like good flavors? Like your adult cough syrup tastes like absolute shit, but kids cough syrup tastes like fucking cotton candy and grape. Why is it as soon as you become an adult you can't enjoy nice flavors anymore?
You should start a movement.
They're trying to make life miserable for adults so that you want to go on antidepressants and all this other bullshit. When if they were being reasonable, they just let us have flavored tobacco, flavored alcohol, and flavored fucking cough syrup.
Don't
Instead of
tread on
men-
my apple teeny flavored vapes.
Instead of
Goddamn
men go
right.
their own way, we got adults go their own way. Agtow.
Oh shit. Post office Dropbox in the sand. What happens there?
Who knows?
And I'm
I'm
learning
gonna
all
have to
sorts
go
of
back
new
and
stuff
watch
from him
this whole
today.
thing because
Yeah, we got lots of
I can't
comments.
see any of them.
It was especially hopping during the whole flat Earth spaces fake section. That really brings out the worst or the best in people.
It's the one way I
Yes.
like to troll, man. I'm telling you, I'm not much of a troller. You guys know me, but something about the globe earthers, they're just fun to fuck with. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I don't just-
it really is.
I think what it is because most of them have done way less research on the shape of the Earth than flat earthers have. And I'm not saying it means the flat earthers are right. It's just funny that, most of them are just like, well, because everybody knows it's round. And that's like their whole thing, But there are people who are like, well, I can show you the math. And I'm like, okay, cool. Great. You've done the work. Yeah, you've done the work.
Ray,
Yeah. Math isn't
My
real.
my fourth grade teacher told me it was round.
Yeah, so it's the only way I troll. And it's mostly Nile, so
Well,
I don't
it's
know. I guess
been
that's-
an okay ride today.
yeah, we got one
Justin,
article
how long
done.
of a drive do you have?
Yeah.
I mean, technically we did 2 articles because there was the video of the people in space. So that's technically that's an article.
Yeah, we talked about Dugan.
Yeah, I mean, Mark didn't actually pull the video up or the article up for it, but we talked
Well,
about it. So.
Well, we can pull that up later. And Justin, did you ever notice that I pulled up my the Substack piece I'm working on? Did you see
I
that?
haven't
Oh,
go
is
back.
that what that was?
Well, see, you had something pulled up, and I could tell that there was something pulled up, but I couldn't see what it was. So I grabbed my phone and I pulled it over to my face so I could look at it, and then it disappeared before I had a chance. So I don't know what.
Yeah, then here.
Well, damn it! Now I have to grab my phone again. The jury's still out on that one.
It's coming out on Wednesday, guys.
I feel you there, Leighton. I remember it was so weird. We trying to send the new kid at the shop like a year or two ago to the store to buy vapes for everybody because that's the world we live in now instead of a pack of smokes like it used to be in my day. And we couldn't even send the intern because he was only 19. And he's like, I can't go buy vapes for y'all. What the fuck are you talking about? It's gonna be 21. Like, what the fuck kind of world are we living in? This is insane.
Wait,
It's a
they
retarded
raised
world.
this. They raised the. Buy it.
Yeah. Tobacco's been 21 for a couple years now.
Well, that's super retarded.
That's very retarded.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.